Welcome to the Temple of Flame. On today, Faithful Acolytes, we take a look at this. And what this is from Irish Spikes, it is the black and gold mustard and pepper hot sauce. So that makes more sense to me than trying to make a mustard and calling it a hot sauce. So this is out of, what we got here? So here they sort of define what their viewpoint on hot sauce is. To me, there's still a really strong differentiation between different types of condiments, and that is not, honestly, it's not subject to change. So this is, I went looking for a bunch of mustards calling themselves hot sauces, and I found a number of actual hot sauces, but none that was really mustard forward. This one, I would say it's more of a mustard-based hot sauce, actually. It's not quite a mustard. I'm going to use it as a mustard going forward, but I wouldn't say it's quite all the way there. This is not what I would consider incorrectly labeled. So we got vinegar and vinegar. Interesting. Sugar, tomato paste, tomato sauce, crushed red pepper, minced garlic, mustard powder, lemon juice, salt, black pepper, garlic powder, onion powder, turmeric arrowroot. Interesting, I don't see that a lot in sauces generally. Cayenne, basil, thyme, and xanthan gum. So where I think for me stuff can get off the rails pretty easy is if they use an actual prepared mustard. If you're just using a mustard powder, you kind of have to, you know, a lot of people make chili using mustard powder. So I don't think mustard powder itself is necessarily going to change it from one category to another in my head. I think if you use prepared mustard, though, that is really kind of the dividing line. But you can see it's got a lot of, very colorful, a lot of different things going on in this. Let's take a look at it with the white plate. Very, very chunky. Irish Spikes is out of Moscow, Idaho. And this is the first of their sauces I've gotten to. And that's not intentional, it's just kind of the way stuff is shaken out. See, there's a lot of, definitely, you can see there's, looks like Italian spices here, or what we would equate with Italian food and flavorings and seasonings and whatnot. Some chunks of pepper, probably garlic in there. This definitely is meant to be more of a comprehensive sauce than just a mislabeled mustard for sure. So I think it looks really interesting. It does kind of look like a stone ground mustard, just a tad. And I don't know if that's conscious or not, if they went into that. It looks really good. I actually like how this looks. Visually, I think it's super, super appealing. But let's get into it. Very chunky. There's a lot of bits of herbs and stuff here in the chew. It's not quite what I would consider a mustard, I guess, just because there is so many of those flavorings I would more associate with Italian type foods. It is really, really interesting. There is, so the back currant, I think, is where kind of the mustard comes to the fore a little bit. The taste you get left with is more like that, but that is a really interesting kitchen sink approach to that. And I have tried it on, so I think the more you do that though, the more you go to a kitchen sink approach, and I've said this numerous times in the past, I think the more you do that, the more you start to get flavor cancellations and the more things that you have to choose foods to pair with. You know, there's more elements. When you only have 4 or 5 elements, then sometimes they're very strong tasting, but that's what you're trying to pair the sauce, you know, to the food. When you have this one's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. So this one has almost 20 different elements to try to pair with, and it gets a little. I think it could be a little bit challenging to be able to do that, because it doesn't always work out quite the way you hope. But it does remind me a bit of a relish. So I got this. This is I almost a dual purpose video, I guess. This is a Hempler's Hot Links. The grocery store closest to me, which I don't really like that store overall, but I will say this, they do a really good job of just bringing in stuff I don't really see anywhere else. So one of the things that they really like to have there is hot links. And it's still too cold for grilling season as I film this. So I thought, okay, well, I'll just get some hot links, and you know what? Actually, before I do that, I've never had this type of hot link before. Let me just get a baseline here. Wow. Okay. So, Hempler's hot links are delicious. I would strongly encourage you. There's just a touch of a bite there as well. I would encourage you, if you're around somewhere that's carrying the Hempler's hot links, they're quite good. All right. I'm going to be honest here. I don't think this works as well as a mustard as I was hoping. This is a very, very busy sauce. And there's lots of little bits of kind of like dried or hard chewy stuff. Not so much a fan of that. So I'm assuming the black is the black pepper, and the gold is maybe like a stone ground mustard sort of thing. But like a lot of these things don't really make sense to be in here, I feel, with specifically the basil and the thyme. I find those are strong flavors that are coming across to me a bit distracting here. Arrowroot, I'm not super familiar with what that adds to things. Like I said, it's not something I encounter a whole lot. When you smell it, when you smell this hot sauce, you definitely get a bit of a wave of, like an Italian seasoning spice mixture. All right. I can't say I was overly fond of that there. That was not particularly good. And you get stuff that just sticks in the neck. Here, I'll show you. It sticks in the neck and then it just kind of clots there. All right, well, it's a very busy sauce, like I said. And I think that's kind of the, what do you pair it with, you know? It's the Italian stuff, you say, okay, well, maybe something Italian, like a pizza or something like that. But the mustard is fairly prominent in here as well, and I don't know that I would do that. So I don't know if they were trying to go for, if you're going for an Italian style sauce, why the mustard? Why the turmeric? If you're not going for that, you know, why the basil and the thyme? I guess I just don't really understand quite what they were going for with this. Heat-wise, it's only cayenne, so it's relatively a tame sauce. Very, very busy, though. Yeah, unique hot sauces, that is true. This is very unique. I can't quite think of anything else I've had like this. Huh. Well, that experiment, you know, that whole running around and trying to find mustards that were labeled as hot sauces, honestly, it was kind of a bust. Because I got like half a dozen different things, but none of them so far has actually been the mustard I was hoping for. So, I mean, that kind of leaves me the option of, you know, what do I do? Do I go back and do I do a mustard I've already done? You know, I prefer to, like, keep trying to find, you know, new stuff, but I think that is actually what I'm going to have to do. I'm going to have to take a step back and just go get a mustard I've already had before and enjoyed. That's kind of the point of why I started the blog, is so I could go back and just pick up hot sauces that I knew I liked. But I also, you know, the food adventurer in me is quite unrelenting, and that's where a lot of, you know, this other stuff kind of comes up. It's like, well, you know, I want to get coverage on more things. And sometimes it does wind up being a case of more and more and more and more. You know? So as far as this goes, I don't love overly busy sauces, which I kind of feel like this is. I do think it's interesting. I just, to me, I think you've got two fairly distinctive tastes, and they're, to my mind, kind of doing battle in the sauce. And I can't say either is winning in one degree or another, but to me, I wish that wasn't happening. I don't, you know, like a lot of the fusion-y stuff, crossing over different cuisine styles, to me, it doesn't always work. And I think for me, this sauce, I would probably include in that pile either, you know, as well, one that I probably will continue to use it for a while and kind of see if I can find somewhere I think it meshes better. But it hasn't really struck me on, like, meats are generally a good thing to try to pair sauces with. And the meats I've had this with so far, I have not really found to be overly enjoyable. But again, I don't like Italian stuff on, you know, meat in like a sandwich context, for instance. So this could be a bit of a challenge to find. But I mean, I still think the sauce, like, visually is very nice. And there are other Irish spike stuff that I need to try to get to as well. So maybe the next one will be more to my suiting, I guess. But we're just going to leave it right there. That was the Irish Spikes Black and Gold Hot Sauce. Number 4. in peace to serve the flame.